So here we are, new game. For my first ever YouTube playthrough. This first video is going to be basically about setting up a character who's going to be based on me. Possibly playing outside of Falkreath to start off with. So it's probably going to take a few attempts to actually get that start location, but get there eventually. But first things first, let's do me. And probably go Imperial, which is what I normally go for. That's a pretty good reference base. Alright, definitely want to reduce the weight. Because with pumping iron, when I start doing stuff, that's going to build up. So let's go with 0.1. No, 0.15. Oh. 0.15. Yep, need to round the. Actually, need to bring the jaw around a bit, I think. Yeah, that's starting to look a little better. Yes, I definitely want to lighten the hair up a bit. Try that, and skin tone. Paler. Might just go with that actually. Why was that on? Okay. Yeah, that's too big. I think that'll do. As you can see, a lot of MCM registered mods. I'll give that a few more seconds to sort itself out, and then I'll start going through some of the options. Yes, it's looking good. Right, going through settings. Come over. Not that good. It's not that good. I've got SkyRe installed, so I think I might just stick with Adept. Is that the middle of the road one? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, hello, Adept. All the subtitles on in case we need to read anything. The controls are pretty though there. I'm going to turn the volume down a bit so you can hear me. Right, where to start? Right, for me I need to increase contrast. Is this dynamic? Let's quickly... it's not, is it? So let's try that. Saturation is the one I need. That'll do for that. So the first thing I want to set up is the keys for Immersive HUD. So now I've done that, let's make sure that's activated in. Yep, right. A matter of time. Quite like that. Let's have a look at that. 24-hour time. Don't need the seconds. Don't need to know real time. Nice simple date format. Right, done some tweaking with a matter of time. It now comes up looking like that, which I think is ideal. So, next thing is I think I want to get the compass looking similar to the clock. So for that I need to go to less intrusive HUD. Slim compass, I think. Oh yes, I can get rid of that one. That's quite a good one to get rid of. And I think I had that set to home. So with this you can actually individually set positions of pretty much any HUD element, which I may do later, but I can't remember if I have normally set anything up for that. But anyway, let's now have a look at that. There we go. They appear and disappear as when I might move the clock and time down a tiny bit more. Yes, I'll do that now. That's better. This is what I was saying about the being able to move elements around the screen. So HUD messages. If I can remember how to use this, we need to change the items at the moment. We are moving the magic bar. Let's get it to yes, I want to move the HUD messages, so we'll find that one. HUD messages. Now we want to move that horizontally. Nowhere. Actually, yes, I want to move it horizontally left a tiny bit. Use the directional cursor keys to move. Actually, what I want to do is change the scale to that'll do that way. Now any new messages should appear below the time, which is pretty neat. Like that. I think I'll leave that entirely like that. There we go. That's excellent as well. Right, next mod to configure. Chief, that should already be set up. So all I need that to do is run. Unequip ammo should have nothing in it. Nope. Okay, better vampires will set up now, but obviously won't affect us until we are one. So we'll change that to that. That's our general purpose status hotkey. And my vampires I like to have reverse progression. Victims can keep their own skills. Let's have everything down that column. Yep. And then down here, advanced feeding. Extract blood. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Alright, miscellaneous options, anything here? Nope. Not having any food or drink affecting me as a vampire. Heliomagic will. Leave that on for the minute. That was bugged in previous versions and left funny marks on thighs. But hopefully they fix that. Yeah, we'll have blood potions affecting satiation. We don't need that as it's redundant now. I think I don't want to turn to ash. Everything else, I think it should be normal. Yeah. Okay. All right. Don't need to set anything else up. Always like to come out of the menus with its major setup. do like that one. Nordic armour. And I like to give my horses a 50% boost in speed. It's a bit quicker. And then we'll give our followers a horse. Yep, we'll set it per follower. Each follower can have their own horse. Oh, I don't want auto loot. That's frustrating in the extreme. Right, that's mostly that sorted out. Deadly dragons. No, our dragons ever so slightly tougher. Right, so what we've changed here is 10% to everything on the custom settings except medic damage. And the assault we've gone for 96 hours timer with a randomizer of 48 hours. So that's 96 plus or minus 48 hours, which is pretty good. And on miscellaneous, I changed the number of souls per perk points. So essentially you can come here and spend dragon souls for perks. Default is 5, I prefer 3. And dragon bone I think is generally a bit too heavy, so I generally knock that down to 5. Leave dragon scale as 3. That's usually one that does require coming right out to set everything up and allow you to move on to the next mod item, which is actually deadly monsters. I don't think I really need that with the immersive creatures on as well. It just gives you the option to make things a little bit harder. I'll leave it for the time being. I think this can be pretty much left as is. Frostfall, one of my must-have mods. Alright, start that up. Right, that's better. We are now enabled. So now, don't allow. Nope. Turn extra durability off. Turn on wear, which basically makes different equipment more or less protective against the cold than others. So fur better than metal, for example. Wear is, when you turn that on, you do have to come out the menu to free it all up, because it does that. Look at me in all my skinny nakedness. Get that built up at some point. But we can now re-equip. My book of followers. And that one. Actually, it's really book of homies too. As you can see, got no followers. But you can have quite a lot. Oh, actually, one thing I will do is Yeah, we'll change the time scale to 10. No, it's set time scale, isn't it? Do 10. Yay! Right. Make days and nights twice as long. That's quite helpful. Nice. Right, let's continue setting up for us fall. I'll probably play around with these settings a bit more later on once I keep better eye on things. Weather sense. Yes, I want to change that to our status key and that to the next one. So there's quite a lot of things that you can do to set up for exposure meters and the like. Right, guess distance is a power that allows you to see how far something is and what it is if it's good enough conditions. Slightly handy little feature. We don't get power, I just want it bound to a hotkey and question mark. That is it for that one. I think there's nothing special here. I can't remember if I do have, I thought I did have, yes I do have that. Yeah, let's turn all that on. Let's take full advantage of that one. Right, back to this one. Hanging rabbits have hearts. Nah. Nope. Quite happy with those settings now. Already done that one. Massive creatures. Funny, I don't really know much about this one. Go with a 33% chance rather than whatever that was on. Half that. Yeah, that's right. Let's have Reeklings only in Solstheim. Cliff races are really Solstheim only as well, aren't they? Just reduce that down by 1. Right, that's pretty good. Right, what do we got next? Let's go with end. No way. That's way too much. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up previous game, save the settings and then come back. So I'll do that off camera. And back. As you can see, it's not done a lot of changes to it. The main one is really rotation modifier. Let's cut that right down. I'll leave that page there for a second to give you an idea of settings. Leave all that as default. Smelting overhaul and leather breakdown. I'd like to increase that to 8. I'm just going to go to here and change these to the default Skyrim values of 2. Turn that off. Required ingots per ore 2. Ore reduction for iron 1. Leave corundum as 1. Definitely take off unskilled smelting, gives penalties. And ore smelting requires coals. It's quite a good balance for knocking this back down to 2. But it requires the charcoal, which is one of the reasons why I set that up. It also makes smelting a bit harder for the higher tiers. You need more advanced coals to actually smelt the higher tiers. So that's that done. These are pretty good for vampires, gives a much nicer intuitive feel to the night vision. Wash out the colour with vampire with all that, and then the heat vision. Let's do the same with that for the minute. Once we actually get night vision, we'll be able to play around with that a bit better. The sound 2s are better, although it doesn't show it. If I come out and go back in, you'll see that they'll be, sure, should be on 2. Go. That works. Werewolves get predator vision as well. Normally they don't get that as humans, but that allows them to, and that's if you really wanted to cheat it in. Pumping iron will literally just tell us where we're at. Now, I don't like food spoilage, so I don't bother turning it on. Basic needs need to be slowed down a bit. So 563 I think does the trick fairly well. I will check that later on. Definitely want to be able to die of thirst. It's actually what can happen, so yeah, why not? And then if I wanted to change that to my hotkey to the status key that I have for everything, and when I do that, it will flash up a whole lot of messages which you'll better read. Top left. Interval reminder increase, and then turn the sound down a bit because the coughing and that can get a bit annoying. Then we fast travel. Reduce needs by 75% because you're not running the entire distance, but I very rarely tend to fast travel anyway. So I think that's it. Yes, the random tripping we definitely want to reduce down by quite a bit. That's better. That's quite cool. I might turn that on. So now I go save LP 1, 2, 3. That's my rotation.
Approach, my child, and choose where your new life shall begin.
There we go.
The light of hope shines even for you. Don't give up.
Right, and I think that is all I need to do for the setup video. I shall return with the start of the playthrough.